Hello and welcome. This is Face's Opinion, getting my degree in conjuration. Welcome you back to Skyrim Month, the series where I release Skyrim-related videos throughout the month of November. For this month, I wanted to do something different with the series and wanted to try my luck and rewrite certain prominent quest lines. For the past few weeks, I've done rewrites for both the main quest and companions quest line. Now it is time for me to tackle the one faction quest line I dislike the most in our penultimate video of Skyrim Month this year. That being the College of Winterhold storyline. Believe me when I say that I consider the College of Winterhold questline as the worst out of all of them. Many years ago, I made a video talking about the college and why their story was crap. I will use that as my outline for what I'm doing here, as I still stand by what I said in that video. Now, it is not required for you to watch that video to understand this one, though if you choose to watch, I would appreciate that. Alright, the story begins, as it normally does, where to get to admit into the college you have to demonstrate your magical power to Feralda, the gatekeeper. After that you gain entry and the first lessons happens as the same way it does in the original, where Tolfdir is training you, Braylina, Jazargo, and Oman about wards. Nothing different there, however after this you don't go to Saarthal. Instead you have to go to different lessons taught by different professors. This will help you get to know the layout of the college and get to know the staff and your classmates. For example, you practice conjuration magic with Braylina under the supervision of Phineas Gester, where the same mishaps take place where Braylina accidentally turns you into different animals. Or learning destruction magic alongside Jazargo with Feralda supervising, where Jazargo makes those flame cloak scrolls that blow up. And learning some more alteration magic with Oman from Tolfdir, as well as learning about restoration from Colette Marcin and illusion from Drevis Nelorin. After your first couple of lectures is when things will pick up, as the librarian Urag will ask Tolfdir for assistance in locating some books that a former student stole, as the Archmage needs those books for some research he is doing, which will prompt the quest Hitting the Books, where you go to Felglow Keep and recover the stolen books, like in the original, just taking place slightly earlier. After getting the books, you return them to Urag and then have to talk to the Archmage, which prompts your first meeting with Savos Aren, who is in the midst of an argument with Ancano, the Thalmor advisor, where Ancano questions Savos' leadership of the college as they are talking about a group of missing students and the issues that causes. Savos stands his ground and tells Ancano to butt out of college affairs, but the conversation stops with you telling Savos the books have been returned, which he dismissively thanks you, without giving you a reward. As you walk away, you encounter Mirabelle Irvine, who properly thanks you and gives you a few spellbooks as a reward, as well as apologize for Savos since he is rather stressed right now. You ask her about the missing students, which she gives a non-answer about being careful since magic can be unpredictable. You leave and talk to your classmates and tell them about the missing students, which makes them curious as they never heard anything about missing students before. Which leads to them talking to Tolfdir about it, where he says there have been instances in which students have gone missing from the college, the most recent being the previous class before our current one that went missing. But Savos told everyone that they went off college grounds to practice experimental magic, though Tolfdir seems rather unsure of that explanation since they have been missing for many months at this point and haven't heard a thing. This leads to you and your classmates investigating, which leads to the incomplete missing apprentices quest that was removed from the original game, where you and your classmates split up to learn what happened to them. Tolfdir is sad to learn that the former apprentices have died, but is thankful to you and will notify their next of kin, and gives you for a brief break from your lessons as a reward. Consider this your spring break, with you and your classmates getting to have some fun in Winterhold, which in this version is a bigger and better city than in the original. Though your break is interrupted as you are required to return early, in which Savos has a job for you all, where he tells you and your classmates that you're going to go on an expedition to explore Saarthal for magical items. But Tolfdir is not happy about this since that is dangerous and confronts Savos about what happened to the missing apprentices and how he is putting his current class at risk. But Savos says that Mirabelle will accompany them, but Tolfdir doubles down, leading to Savos putting him on leave, much to everyone's shock. The expedition of Saarthal takes place as normal with only two big differences. First, Mirabelle replaces Tolfdir, and second, the Psijic Order does not appear, not here nor anywhere else. They don't get involved. You find the Eye of Magnus and tell Savos, which he says he will have some of the staff go collect it soon. As you walk away, Ancano confronts you and asks if it's true that you found it, in which you confirm it. though Ancano seems a bit too interested in the discovery. The eye is then brought to the college and is being studied. However, during that time you get a letter from Tolfdir telling him to meet you at the inn in Winterhold, where he talks to you, expressing that he has a bad feeling about the eye, and you talk about how Ancano was very interested in it, leading to Tolfdir stating that we need more information and he knows the right place to look. He tells you to go to the Midden and talk to the Augur of Dunlane. To talk to him, you need to activate the Daedric Gauntlet to talk to him. So, after solving a brief magical puzzle to showcase your magical prowess, you talk to him, where he tells you all the information about the Eye of Magnus and how you need the staff, and that Ancano was down here. You head up and confront Ancano about this, in which he pleads his innocence and says that Savos is the one who should be questioned, as he talked to the Augur about Savos, in which he learned a lot of dark things about him. But before he can talk, Savos fires a powerful blast on Ancano, stopping him. Savos is channeling the power of the orb, and says that he did not work this hard for this long to be denied. Savos barricades himself in the Hall of Elements and starts causing issues the same way Ancano did in the original, when he started channeling the Eye's power, leading to the quest Containment, where you, your classmates, and the staff have to protect Winterhold from the magical anomalies. After that, Colette heals Ancano, and he tells you that Savos' plan is to absorb the power of the Eye and become the most powerful mage in the world. Ancano wanted to stop him, as this poses a threat to the Thalmor. He also says you need to find the Staff of Magnus, and the Synod were on an expedition to try and find it, which leads to the quest Revealing the Unseen, where you go to Mazult and find the Synod, where Partus Decimus helps you. After that, he then asks about what is happening in Winterhold, which you tell him about Savos. Then Partus tells you that the Synod were looking into Savos due to him being rather negligent during his tenure as Archmage, and he says that he will return to the Synod and will return with more mages to help what is happening in Winterhold. You then head back and see the professors, Mirabelle, Ancano, and your classmates are continuing to fight off against the anomalies. You then tell them that the Staff of Magnus is at Labyrinthian, which prompts Mirabelle to stop you, saying that you can't go to Labyrinthian since it's locked and you will need the Torque, but is located in the Archmage's quarters. You ask why Savos has the Torque for Labyrinthian, which he responds with that long ago he was a student at the college, he was on an expedition to explore the ruin, but was the sole survivor. But you need to go inside the college to recover it, leading to you and Mirabelle sneaking into the college through the Midden to recover it and fighting more anomalies. Once you make your way and recover the Torque, you see a magical apparition of Savos appear in front of them, who's trying to kill you, as he takes control of the Atronach Forge and is trying to create a never-ending legion of Atronachs for you to fight. The two of you are trying to fight back, but he is unstoppable, leading to Mirabelle using the last bit of her magic to teleport you out of the college, sacrificing herself. Once outside, you tell everyone that Mirabelle is dead. The professors, who are being led by Tolfdir, tell you that they will buy you as much time as you can to go and get the staff. You and your classmates then go to Labyrinthian, and that quest plays out more or less the same, as you have to fight and kill the Dragon Priest Moroki, who is in possession of the Staff of Magnus. Minor differences here is that while you are retracing Savos and his peers' footsteps, you discover that Savos forced his fellow classmates into the ruin to reclaim powerful magical artifacts, and when they got outmatched by Moroki, he abandoned them to save himself. Also, when exiting, you don't fight any Thalmor agents because Ancano is not the big bad, so why would he send someone to kill you? Anyhow, you return to the college with the staff and see the professors, Ancano, and the Synod, who has just arrived to help continuing the fight against the anomalies, but they are getting tired. You use the Staff of Magnus and start to disperse the magic from the eye, and all you make your way to the college, and the final battle against Savos takes place, and you beat him the same way you beat Ancano in the original. After that, you need to figure out what to do with the Eye of Magnus. The Synod decides that the best thing to do is to banish it from our plane. Tolfdir agrees with that, while Ancano isn't, since he believes that Thalmor should have it, but lets them do the banishment, begrudgingly. In the aftermath, the college and Winterhold can begin to rebuild. Ancano heads back to the Somerset Isles to tell the Thalmor what has happened here. The Synod helps the college after that stunt Savos pulled, with them anointing Tolfdir as the new Archmage, and with you and your classmates being more powerful mages, thus concluding the quest line. Now, I know that I covered a lot and figure some may have a question or two about things, so I decided to create a Q&A based off of questions I think you may have. Like I said earlier, I wanted to build up your classmates and the other professors because they don't do much of anything in the original version of the quest line. I mean, seriously, do you know anything about the other professors besides Tolfdir? Unless you plan to focus on a magic build and learn the master level spells, you don't interact with them. Besides, since we are in a college and are supposed to be students learning magic, it makes sense that we have more lectures and get to learn more about magic. And the fact we only have one lecture in the original and don't learn anything else besides that is ridiculous to me. This was originally a cut quest from the base game, and I wanted to add it in and show that the college is not that great when it comes to ensuring safety of students under Savos' tenure as Archmage. And since I brought up Savos, I should address the elephant in the room. Some of you are probably confused why I made Savos the big bad of the quest and not sticking with Ancano. Tell me, why should it be Ancano? Because he is a Thalmor? I hate the Thalmor, don't get me wrong, but that's a weak reason for it being Ancano. Besides, it makes for an interesting swerve as you're all expecting it to be Ancano. But enough of that. I should answer the question. Why is it Savos? I think he works in that role because think about it. His time as Archmage is not that great, as many students have gone missing practicing dangerous spells that resulted in their deaths. He sends new students to Saarthal in an expedition that I would argue is too dangerous for them at their current level. He has dangerous things in the midden like the Daedric Gauntlet and Atronach Forge unattended that anyone can access, and forces two of his friends to become thralls to restrain Moroki. At bare minimum, he is incompetent, and at worst, he is very apathetic and negligent. Just make him more interested in improving his own power and not caring about what happens to anyone else. It can work. Did I do a great job in portraying that? That's up to you. Granted, it does fall into the trope that many of the other questlines have, that being that the leader of the faction betrays you. It happened in the Dark Brotherhood, the Thieves Guild, and now here, which is a fair critique, but it is what it is. Why did I make Winterhold a bigger and better city in this version? Come on, it's Winterhold. It's a dump. And it's also the place where the college is located. Even if Nords hate magic, the city the college should be in should at least look better than what it is currently. What? It's a college. Besides, it gives you time to have fun and hang out with your classmates. What's the harm in that? Especially exploring a Winterhold that is not dog shit. In the original version, you could interact with the Daedric Gauntlet you stumble across in the midden and summon a Dramora. For this, I wanted to do something else with it, so why not have it be the device that summons the Augur of Dunlane? And you have to showcase your skill with magic to be able to summon him, because you are talking to what is essentially an oracle. It should not be easy to talk to him. Not to mention also incorporating something else that was not fully used in the base game. Same thing goes with the Atronach Forge. It's just randomly in the midden, not doing anything. I mean, why is it not in the actual college itself? I would argue it is not as dangerous compared to the Daedric Gauntlet. I would say that this is something that the college, particularly the Conjuration Professor, would make use of. So I wanted to give it some degree of usage here. For this one, I wanted to have more interactions with Mirabelle so her death would be more meaningful, which is why she was with us in Saarthal and not Tolfdir, as well as her helping us get the torque from the Archmage's quarters. As in the original version, I hated how she died off screen. This time, we see what happens, which makes it more impactful as she sacrifices herself to ensure our success. I give them more of a presence since they had none in the original. Now, they are the overseers of magic across the Empire and make sure that all the colleges are following rules and regulations. Not to mention, the moment they realized something was happening in Winterhold, they should have stepped in. And the fact that they didn't is a bit dumb. Which is why close to the end they were helping out the college deal with Savos, get rid of the eye, and help with the cleanup of Winterhold. I guess you can say they do what the Psijic Order did in the original, but at a lower level. I'm going to be honest with you. I hate the Psijic Order, something I made perfectly clear in my video talking about the College of Winterhold. They make the entire college look incompetent and weak, and kind of take away from not just the college's agency, but the player's agency as well. What did I call them in that original video? The Deus Ex Machina mages? Besides, since they are so freaking powerful that they can stop time and talk to the player whenever they want, why don't they deal with Ancano in the original story? Honestly, it makes me wonder if the Psijics were going to play as big as a role as they did, why can't we join them and not the college? I mean, seriously, compare the two. The Psijics blow the college out of the water, and we're supposedly the chosen one in the story. So why aren't we a member? I said this once before, and I'll say it again. Fuck the Psijics! With all of that said, this was my attempt at rewriting the College of Winterhold's questline, and concludes the rewrites. And before you ask, no, I'm not making videos on the Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood, as I like their questlines for the most part, barring a few issues, and if I were to make videos for both, they'd be like 4 minutes long. Not worth the hassle since the other questlines were either mid to bad. However, I do have a special video to end this year's Skyrim's month. Stay tuned to find out what it's going to be. Now tell me, what do you think of my variation of the story? Do you like the original version? How would you have changed it if you were writing it? Do you think Ancano should have remained the big bad in this story? Comment down below. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and make sure you subscribe. Until next time, I'll catch you all on the flip side.